Good evening, everybody, and good morning to participants from USA and abroad. Dr. Nalini, Director in charge, School of Gandhian Studies, Geetam Institute, and convener of the seminar, Dr. Ravi, the chairperson of the current session. He is from Samata, as introduced by the earlier speaker, and Ms. Suman, an IAS officer from West Bengal. She is my fellow panelist, and Ms. Priya Thallam of USA, from USA. And my other participants, doctors and postdoctoral fellows, like I've seen yesterday, many dignitaries were participating. I believe that number of people are here. Probably I'm not aware of all those people. Anyway, as introduced by the earlier speaker, I think Manisha, I'm now not in the forest department as such. I'm now on deputation to Government of India. I moved out of the forest department almost 6 years back, and now, of course, the climate change topic is not my cup of tea, but still, I've worked for long tenure in the forest department of Himachal Pradesh. Presently, I am posted as Development Commissioner at Visakhapatnam Special Economic Zone, looking after the special economic zones located in Andhra, Telangana, and Chhattisgarh. And of course, in the forest department, we started the facilitation and mitigation measures to the forest dwelling communities long back, as long as in 1990s, when we joined the state in 90s. That time itself, all these measures were already in use, and we were all practicing. And coming to very brief about the universe came into existence about 4,600 million years ago. And of course, the universe was flooded with oxygen about 2,000 million years back. And the whole of the climate changes started coming 200 years back. And we've got a very limited history of the climate. And the first conference of climate change has taken place in 1979, February in Geneva. And as you know that our knowledge on climate change is very limited. We have been seeing it and we are experiencing now. And now straight away, I would like to go to my presentation so that it will give you.
Yeah, Mr. Reddy, just wanted to say, we have to keep time in our focus, 20 minutes at least.
Just remind me.
Sure, 5 minutes before.
5 minutes before.
Yeah.
Just we will be discussing this presentation is visible, I believe.
Okay.
The presentation is visible, Dr. Ravi.
No, not yet.
No, sir, it's not.
And
Not yet.
At my end, sir.
yeah, ma'am. No, just wait. I'll just upload it. Yeah. I think is that visible now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Ravi, I lost 1 minute in this process. Yeah, we'll be discussing very quickly.
I'll keep that in mind, sir. Definitely. No problem.
Discussing all these points very quickly. Just in my presentation, it has got 30 slides, but 10 of them are 17 of them are pictures. So we'll quickly push through it. We'll be discussing about recent warning bells, history of climate change, impact of climate change on forest dwelling communities, facilitating adaptation to climate change mitigation. And many of you must have seen this clip passing through the WhatsApp groups in the recent past. One octogenarian, a person who was talking from, I think, Gurgaon, or Noida. He was attending some meeting on climate change, and I would like that you should listen to at least 1 minute from this gentleman who looks to be very innocent, but he's well aware of the climate change and other aspects. Just listen.
We are unable to hear
Not
anything.
understand.
No. We can't hear anything. I can.
Can't
Can the
hear.
others hear? No.
What about others?
No, sir, we can't hear. The audio is not playing.
I don't know why. Anyway, he's telling that we are left with only 100 years on this earth because of the climate change. The human beings are going to be extinct within next 100 years. And he has been narrating so many things what are happening in the country and why the country people are not very much responding to the situation. This is another, you can see recent happenings was moving in the WhatsApp group again. It's one of the areas in North Kuwait, and where you can see the water is flooding on the roads, which was a very unusual scene. You can see in the recent, I think November, December, there were so much of floods in the towns like Kadapa, where we never used to see water even, and all the shops were flooded with water, and you can see all the deciduous rivers, they are flooding, and it was never seen in the last 50 years. So you can see another, this is State Bank of India, Kadapa branch, the water you can see here. And similarly, this you can see how the water is flowing through small rivulets which were never having any water in the past. So that way, and very recent reminder to us of the warning bells from the climate change is that the Uttarakhand glacier burst, and where more than 200 people lost their lives due to burst of the melting of the glacier broke off in Joshimath and has taken away with it Dhauli Ganga hydropower project. And another very interesting clip I'd like you to listen to for 2 minutes if it is visible. And is that audible? No.
No, sir.
Not
No, it's not audible. What they are saying is that the water is being traded, in Wall Street. That's what she's saying. And now water has become a futures where it is being traded on par with water and gold. That's what they are saying. And you can imagine the future. And this I have already discussed that the now carbon dioxide levels have presently it is 440 ppm. And now we can see that it was 500 million years ago, it was 220 ppm. And coming to, it's a very recent phenomena, as I told you, we have to have a lot of understanding on climate change. But as we know, all the reasons for this and causes, I don't go into that due to time constraint. And you can see that more than 1.5 billion tons of carbon dioxide is released to the atmosphere every year from the cutting of the forests and burning of forests alone. Up to 70% of the world's animal species are dependent on forests for survival, and at this current rate of deforestation, if this continues for long, and we are losing almost 1 to 10% of the species after every decade, we are losing about 10% of the tropical rainforest species. And you can listen, you can see that we could never see the frogs in our childhood. When we step out of the houses, we used to keep our feet on the frogs and other things. Something comes under our feet. Now all are disappearing slowly. These are all the warning bells that we are getting from climate change. And you can see that what are the impacts of climate change that will happen. Is that first thing is that shortage of water, and water for this is all about forest dwelling communities we are talking. And there will be shortage of water and shortage of water for their cattle, and also the quality will suffer very badly. We were facing in Himalaya, all the Himalayan villages, they are running short of water. We always faced water in Shimla, and sometimes we don't get water even for a week, though we were living in the capital of Shimla. So despite the Britishers have constructed beautiful catchment areas there now, but that much water is not coming that it can be stored, and there will be shortage of water. And similarly, there will be alien weeds are invading like anything in the state of Himachal Pradesh. It's same with everybody. All of you must have heard about this lantana camera. It's a very obnoxious weed. It's spreading on millions and millions of hectares of the lands, both forests and communities. And unforeseen rains are leading to crop damages and less yield of apple. When the apple is in cropping, the rain comes and everything falls to the ground. The people are losing all their crops due to untimely rains, and there is change in the crop pattern because the habitats are destroyed. All the wild animals, even monkeys are coming to the habitations, and with that they are losing all the crops. So they have stopped raising growing even maize due to monkey damage. And unforeseen floods, of course, disruption of travel and everything. Untimely flowering that is happening in the Himalayan states is a very dangerous trend here. I can tell you, I'll show you the photograph after that. The rhododendron trees, which grow at the height of altitude of 2,500, they are flowering much earlier than they scheduled to flower in the month of March, but they are flowering now in the month of January. And frequent fires are taking a toll of the forest, and also the local climate is warming up, and there is a lot of spread of epidemics, and more allergies and health risks are happening among the people who are dependent on the forest and the forest dwelling communities. There's a lot of loss of employment and migration of labor due to lack of work. Then upward movement of tree lines. People may wonder what is this upward movement of tree lines? Earlier we used to get, say, Devdar at 2000 meters or 1500 meters. Now it won't come at that altitude. You have to move 2500. Earlier apple crop used to come at 1000 meters. Now you have to move up to 1500, 2000 meters. And similarly, this is happening for quite some time, millions of years. Now it is happening at a much faster rate. See, the tree fossils found in Rajasthan deserts indicates that it was at one point of time Devdar trees were present there. And similarly, the last Saraswati River is an indication that a lot of climate change is happening and global warming is taking toll of all the natural resources of this universe. And these are the rhododendron trees. You can see they are beautiful medicinal plants and trees as well. And they come up at an altitude of 2500 meters. For the subsequent successively for the last 3 years, it started flowering in the month of January, whereas it should flower in the month of March or April. It's taking a lot of toll. Their regeneration is getting low. And coming to the adaptation part to climate change, it's just the process of adjustment to actual or expected climate and try to mitigate the effects that are happening on that. So in that, forest can play a major role by controlling deforestation and limit the global warming up to keep it below 2 degrees centigrade. And the zero net deforestation policy will definitely help the forest dwelling communities and the people to have their food and water security for the times to come. And the sustainable forest management practices will definitely limit the global warming and increase in the temperatures that are happening. So if you look at quickly the State of Forest report for the year 2019 in the country, it shows that India is one of the countries which is constantly recording an increase in the forest cover. You can see that it's 24.56% now in 2019, and it has recorded 5,188 square kilometer increase. The top states which recorded increase in the forest cover are Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala. But one unfortunate thing here is that the increase is only 1.14% in the very dense category of forest, which are mainly responsible for absorbing maximum carbon dioxide and facilitate the climate change aspect. And coming to facilitating adaptation, it focuses mainly on reducing the dependency of the village communities on the forest and to provide them suitable alternatives to sustain. And what we are doing, we are motivating the people. I can talk specifically in the context of Himachal Pradesh, where I worked for more than 29 years. So we motivate them not to use wood for cooking, and that worked very well. And they are adopting LPG everywhere. And you will wonder that till 2010, the charcoal was burnt in every part of the Himachal Pradesh to heat during the winters, which is now banned, and no charcoal is burnt even if the temperatures go down to -1 also. And the uncontrolled grazing, we ask them not to do grazing without scientifically, and that we are practicing everywhere, and stop diverting forest to agriculture. And we encourage them and provide them also. We provided in the past pressure cookers, solar water geysers, everything free of cost to them or at subsidized prices with assistance from Indo-German Chenger project or Indo-German Doladar project or Japan-aided projects, World Bank projects, UK projects. This is how we are facilitating the adaptation by the village communities. And we have provided them the high-yielding grasses so that the cattle will not go to the pastures and damage them in a very uncontrolled manner. And of course, the increase in forest cover has been happening in Himachal Pradesh like anything. So that way, we are also trying to mitigate the climate change aspect. And every panchayat in Himachal has got a modern crematoria. It's energy efficient crematoria. People will not waste wood on burning of the dead bodies and other things. And to mitigate their miseries, we provide them employment to all the village dwelling communities adjoining to forests in the maintenance of fire lanes, construction of forest roads, water holes, water harvesting structures, and removal of lantana bushes and from regeneration areas, and raising nurseries and firefighting, cleaning forests, floors, and going for plantations, treatment. I come to plantations every year, 9 million plants are planted in the state of Himachal Pradesh, where the village communities are deployed for doing this job. And of course, the construction of soil and water conservation measures. We have done plenty of water conservation measures under even Manrega also, National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. And every pond will comprise of about 1 lakh liters. I'll show you some of the pictures after the end of this one. And they are allowed exploitation of dead fallen trees, and they are given resin tapping works and collection of minor forest produce, seeds, pine needles, and extraction of devdar oil, etc. And
just to tell you 5 minutes, sir.
Yeah, provides training to forest dwellers as ecotourism guides, and do a lot of cookery jobs in the trekker huts in the forestry, the rest houses in the remote areas. And they get free firewood for meeting their rituals. And because we have got plenty of firewood lying in the floor, which is not being exploited now, and converted timber for construction of and maintenance of their houses. Using timber is one way of carbon sequestration. The carbon is got stuck in the home for another next 20 to 30 years. And we give a lot of concessions in the minor forest produce. And can see collection of medicinal plants like ashwagandha, sarpagandha, berberries, harar, beda, and amla. They are allowed to collect it in a very scientific manner. And Gucci, some of you have heard about, it's Morchella esculenta. It costs around 15,000 rupees per kilo. It comes up only for 15 days during the break of winter and when spring starts. And they collect it and sell it to the local markets, and they get good amount of money. So that way, their dependence on the forest is reduced, and we provide compensation to the communities. If they are attacked, or if their animals are attacked by the wild animals, or even the monkey or snake, they are provided sufficient compensation so that they will not go for poaching or killing of the animals. And this way, animals are also very important in the ecology of forests. And allotment of lands is being done to the forest dwellers up to 1 hectare for all under Scheduled Tribe and Traditional Forest Dwellers Act. And afforestation, you can see, can bring the people back to mainstream. And we have many experiments where people were resorting to illicit felling and poaching by raising large chunks of forest plantations there. People have switched over to that, and that was a very successful model. We take every occasion to plant a tree on any occasion. It's 26th January or 1st January or the birthday of anybody, or 15th August or World Environment Day or Forestry Day. And these are some of the excellent works that we have done in Himachal. This is one of the banks of river Ravi where the stabilization works have been done. Now, this was taken about 10 years back. Now, if you see, it's full of forest, of course, after 10 years. These are the water harvesting structures that we have constructed with the help of the communities by providing them the wages, and they have constructed and they are using the water. It's for them, it's for their resource. And you can see it can store about 1 lakh liters, up to 1 lakh to 10 lakh liters water it can store. And these are some of the 1-year-old plantations that we have done under Chamera project of NHPT in Chamba district. You can see the water. We conserve even a single tree here, which is standing in between. These are the water harvesting structures, and people take this water for irrigation. It is done by the forest department and not by the IPH or any other department. You can see these are the plantations of alnas raised on the banks of river Ravi in Chamba district to stabilize the slopes. These are the excellent pastures managed by the communities, which are not interfered by the forest department at all and are used very carefully by them. These are from the untouched virgin valleys of Pangi in Chamba district. You can see these. We allow them to raise the medicinal plants and provide them for just like for further propagation, and they get a lot of revenue from this. And how much time is left, Ravi sir?
Just actually, you'll have 3 minutes, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Then I'll add only a few lines to this. And the mitigation aspect now, the root cause of climate change is excessive use of energy. We have to control on the use of the energy. And probably vegetarianism would help in a long term, in a long go, to control the climate change, as production of 1 kilo of meat requires around 1,000 liters of water. And the same amount can produce about 5 kilo of grains, and which will feed at least 20 people. And see, coming to meat, 1 kilo of meat generates around 1 kilo of methane, which is again a greenhouse gas and produces around 70 to 120 kilo of methane per year, an animal reared. And unfortunately, we have got 1/3 of the livestock population of the globe in our country. And we are largest supplier of buffalo meat in the world. And we supply 1.2 million tons of meat we supplied in 2018-19. So all this is coming from our country and we are contributing to the methane. And this industry takes a heavy toll on the environment. On the domestic front, the consumption of buffalo meat has increased from 13% in rural areas and 30% in urban areas. For short distances, let us use only mechanical means what the dignitaries abroad are doing, but we never move out even for a half a kilometer. We don't move out without a vehicle. And we have to practice it to contribute ourselves to this and go for renewable and non-conventional energy sources. And even at Visakhapatnam Special Economic Zone, we have got a solar power plant of 0.85 megawatt, and all our needs are met from that. And in Himachal, there are hundreds of micro, mini, and large hydro projects. The Himachal, despite it is a very small state, is supplying energy power to Delhi, up to Delhi and Haryana even. And this discard Western style of house construction, we need to absorb energy and we need to dissipate energy. And
1 minute, sir.
Yeah, another 2-3 lines only.
Yeah.
And go for small mud water harvesting to store water, increase vegetation and lowering temperature. This will change the microclimate of the area. And we are doing it even Visakhapatnam, where we get plenty of water. We are in the last 3 years itself, we have constructed more than 20 water harvesting structures inside the zone itself for trapping the water and stopping the water, and use solar pumps. Try to live in harmony with nature, switch to energy saving LED lights, go for energy efficient appliances, avoid idling of machines most of the times to save the energy, and focus on reducing scrap and rework. And paddy cultivation in non-paddy areas should be avoided. People do it forcibly and go for dry land agriculture, raise crops like bajra with less water. So now to all the dignitaries and participants here, I'll conclude my presentation with the last saying that it's time to cut down carbon, and all of you should participate in this great job to save this universe. Thank you, everybody. I end my presentation here.
Thank you.